Mr. Vonnegut, thanks for coming by.
Oh, my pleasure.
How's life?
Well, it's practically over, thank God.
For heaven's sakes.
I'm practically 83. There won't be that much more for me to put up with, I don't think.
Yeah, well, you were writing about maybe you want to sue your cigarette companies. You smoked all those years, and there's a warning on the packet saying that this will...
Brown and Williams, on their package, promised to kill me. And they haven't done it. I mean, here I am, 83.
False advertising on the
Yes.
cigarettes? You know, I grabbed every Kurt Vonnegut I could find to reread in the last week, knowing you were coming. I was looking at the beginning of Slaughterhouse-Five. The good uncle in that novel complains that people tend not to notice when they are happy.
Yeah.
Maybe that character's right. They just don't notice when the good stuff that's around us.
Yeah, well, this was my Uncle Alex, and he had a good uncle and a bad uncle. The bad uncle was Dan, but the good uncle was Alex. And what he found objectionable about human beings was they never noticed it when they were really happy. So whenever he was really happy, you know, we could be sitting around in the shade in the summertime, in the shade of an apple tree, and drinking lemonade and talking. It was just sort of back and forth buzzing like honeybees. And Uncle Alex would all of a sudden say, "If this isn't nice, what is?" And then we'd realize how happy we were, and we might have missed it. And the bad Uncle Dan was when I came home from the war, which was quite painful. He clapped me on the back and said, "You're a man now." I wanted to kill him.
It took going through, you weren't just in the war.
Yeah.
You actually were a POW.
Yes.
In Dresden during the firebombing.
Yes.
Famously. And so that's what it took to make you a man?
Yeah.
In this uncle's view?
Yes. Well, he'd been made a man during the First World War in the trenches.
You didn't actually kill him, though.
No, he would have been the first German I killed.
Your experience as a soldier must give you great empathy for what our soldiers are going through right now, because whether or not a person agrees with the logic behind this war in Iraq or vehemently thinks it's a bad idea, everybody agrees that it's hell for those guys and those women.
Well, not only that, they're being sent on fool's errands, as there aren't enough of them, and I've read about they go on patrols, and they're in awful danger. And the patrols accomplish almost nothing. And so, sure, that's a nonsensical war. That isn't how you fight.
It strikes me that maybe you were not the biggest fan of the President of the United States at this juncture?
Well, he is in my grade school, we would have called it twit, and in my high school, we would have called it twit. And so I'm sorry we have such a person as president.
But there must be things that you think the current administration has done wrong that have so upset you.
Well, yes, it doesn't know anything about military science, doesn't know anything about science. You know, global warming, they just don't believe it. And my Lord, is to send 143,000 soldiers or whatever it is to occupy a country of, what, several million? Is 7 million, you think? It's preposterous. I knew better than that, although the highest rank I ever held was corporal. And so these people don't know anything about anything. They're incompetent. And so, yes, they are getting a lot of our guys killed, but also they've emptied the treasuries, emptied our treasuries. You know, we can't fix the roads, we can't fix the schools. It's my dream of America, with great public schools. I thought we should be the envy of the world with our public schools. And I went to such a public school, so I knew that such a school was possible. Shorridge High School in Indianapolis produced not only me, but the head writer on the I Love Lucy show. And my God, we had a daily paper. We had a debating team, we had a fencing team. We had a chorus, a jazz band, a serious orchestra. And all of this was the Great Depression going on. And I wanted everybody to have such a school. And Yeah, we could afford it if we didn't spend all the money on weaponry. But I brought something.
Oh.
It's a message for the president. Is it all right if I read it?
Yeah, for the President of the United States?
Yes. Well, I want to get it right. I am now an elder in this, the greatest democracy in the history of the world. I will be 83 in November. I am a member of what has been called the greatest generation. I am a combat infantry veteran with a Purple Heart and a battle star. And I now want to put my president on notice. And I am talking about impeachment. Enough is enough. If he commits oral sex in the Oval Office, and I don't care with whom, that will be the straw that broke the camel's back. Out he goes. There, I've thrown down the gauntlet. If that be treason, make the most of it.
But impeachment, that's strong words. What do you want to impeach him for?
For oral sex in the Oval Office. I said that.
Wasn't that the other guy?
Well, I don't know. That's the standard now. That's the precedent, is the one unforgivable thing a president could do.
Why has the president angered you so?
Well, because he shouldn't be president. Is we ought to have a stronger person, and as an actor in a made-for-TV movie, and other people are, in fact, telling him what to say. Of course, we have only a one-party government. It's the winners. And then everybody else is the losers, and the winners are divided into two parties, the Republicans and the Democrats.
Well, you write in the book, you say that the last election, the two leading candidates were two C students from Yale, as you put it.
Two members of Skull and Bones at Yale, for God's sake, I mean, that's what a charade the combat between the Republicans and the Democrats is. It's rich kids. Winners on both sides, so the winners can't lose. And, of course, the losers have no representation in Congress or whatever. But, look, yeah, we had to choose between two members of Skull and Bones? What about if we had to choose between two members of Sigma Chi at Purdue? Wouldn't somebody have said, wait a minute, what the hell happened here?
But you're saying you don't see senior political figures, really anybody, representing the interests of people who are struggling?
No, they are not representing the American people. And so there are people who made a hell of a lot of money, one way or another, making it during the war, incidentally. You know, maybe the war is a bad idea, but some people are making a ton of money off of it. And they want to hang on to whatever they've got. And so they bankroll political campaigns for both Republicans and Democrats. Look, we're awful animals. We can start with that. You know, it's a whole human experiment, if that's what we are.
At heart, we're awful?
Look, after 2 world wars and the Holocaust and the nuclear bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and after the Roman Games and after the Spanish Inquisition and after burning witches in public, shouldn't we call it off? I mean, we are a disease and should be ashamed of ourselves. And so, yeah, I think we ought to stop reproducing. But since we're not going to do that, I think the planet's immune system is trying to get rid of us. I think that's what's going on.
The planet is sort of trying to shed us as if we are some sort of toxin.
Yes. Look, I'll tell you, it's one thing that no cabinet has ever had is a Secretary of the Future. And there are no plans at all for my grandchildren and great